Crash Bandicoot 5. To tell you the truth, my whole experience with this game started after a simple trip around eBay. My name is Matt, and my gaming experience I can never forget. It was late, about 8 on a Sunday, and I was looking on eBay for something but I can't recall what it was because of what I found soon after that. In the items recommend for use section, I saw something that looked like a disc. I thought it was pretty interesting. So I check it out. Crash Bandicoot 5, the title said. It should have said it still worked. There's only a few minor scratches. I almost had happiness after that. My first game was the original Crash Bandicoot for the PS1. I've been playing since I've been 5. I rushed into the other room panting, asking my dad to buy it for me. He stared at me like I was some kind of maniac, but he shrugged it off and gave me the okay. He went to the computer and checked out and paid for the item. I was pretty sure I was going to be able to wait for the game to come. He told me to get ready for bed since it was a school night. So why not? Since the game would come faster. So I just went to bed. Next morning, I woke up, I got ready, and rushed out the door. All throughout the day, all I could think of that game. What is the music like? Who are the bosses? What are the levels? That was my one focus during the day. When I got home, I slopped through my schoolwork, scarfed down a snack, and went to home my skills playing Crash 2 and 3. About a week later, game came in a little box on my doorstep. I almost screamed with excitement. I didn't even care that I was hungry or I had schoolwork to do. I turned the power cord on my PS2 into the outlet and put it in the game. It said Naughty Dog, Universal, and stuff that the Crash game usually says. Then the title screen pops up. It, of course, says Crash 5 on the top of the screen in yellow letters and press start on the bottom. It was a black screen with Crash rolling on the platform in the middle. Of course, I pressed start. I selected a new save file and started to play the game. It started off with Aku telling Crash how Cortex is up to no good and how he has to save the world again. Crash looked absolutely depressed to say the least. After that, and he recklessly sprinted out the door. The warp room looked similar to the third game, being 5 warp rooms with 5 levels in each, and a boss. I went into those first level, which was Jungle Journey. The level was great, and so was the music. It was amazing, and the control liked butter. I finished the level in about a minute, and grabbed something that sounded like power crystal, but it was a dark shade of black. Maybe these are what I'm after in this game. I told myself. The level was really fun, but there was one little thing that caught my attention. I remember I did a bad jump over the pit or something and fell in. I knew I heard a faint crunching noise, but I just passed it off as normal. I remember one really tough level. It was an ice level with quick and trickly jumps with nitros spread out on the platforms. I quickly lost my supply of 25 lives in a few minutes. A camera screen popped up, and I jammed the start button to continue playing. A little bit into the game, this is where things started turning pretty ugly. But in some levels, it popped up here and there. The only bit of the level was very challenging. The first time it got really bad. There was a way with Dingle Doll in the second world, where my hand slipped from the sweat in my palms, and I felt to dodge a burst of flame shot from the pack on the boss's pack. Crashed out a blood-running scream and ran around in the panic until you could clearly see his flesh and muscles sing off. Another time is whenever I exploded by a TNT or nitro. Crash and yelled and a red splash of guts covered my screen. As another time, Crash was hit by a sledgehammer and his whole body's splattered from the top up. But despite the fact, I really couldn't stop playing. The levels were great, and the music was the best I ever heard from a video game. The girls and does were to actually compel me to do better in the levels. I collected all the crystals and all the gems because of me severely trying to avoid losing a life. After I'd done everything, I need to do my only task I haven't achieved yet, was defeating Neo Cortex. The fight took place in a long hall in space, and Cortex was piloting some kind of machine, which resembled a steamroller, but more evil looking with 2 spiked rollers stacked on top of each other. I was terrified at this sight, and I knew I just couldn't die. For me, Crash. I ran as fast as I can, dodging walls and other stuff, trying to make Crash trip and get gouged with those spiky rollers. I touched everything like a master, knowing there will be some kind of button or something that would wreck Cortex's machine. I had the feeling I was just about there, but one thing happened. A wall. Crash slammed into a wall, and the death animation occurred. It was awfully long, but awfully gruesome too. Short Crash, dizzy after hitting a wall, but quickly coming to his sense after. I looked behind him in absolute shock. He tried sprinting to avoid his demise, but he quickly fell to his feet. I just about fainted at this point. The machine swallowed Crash up. He let out the worst, most agonizing scream that ever hit my ears. The waters grind and crashed into bits. There were bones and blood everywhere. I spawned at the beginning, and to my surprise, the cord was still inside of Cortex's rollers. I sprinted as fast as possible and avoided every single damn obstacle I could. At the end, I made it to a button. Crash stomped on it, and the machine blew into bits. Cortex buzzed into the Denson, yelling threats like, "Curse you, and I'll get you next time!" The screen cuts to black. Some critics started to roll after I won. It showed a few Naughty Dog workers, but the point that got me the most was the part I saw next. In bold letters, the critics showed murderers. It lists some people's names at the bottom of the screen. Anyone who killed Crash, anyone who made him suffer. I saw my name in there along with my brother and some friends. After the credits finished, I am in the warp room. In the center was a huge black gem. I jumped on it, knowing it would take me to a new area. It was a dark passage, with one portal at the end labeled The Room. It was just a dark hallway, but on the sides of the carpet were all dead Crashes. Singed ones cut in half, shattered ones, exploded ones. It is terrifying to see. The level progresses normally with a few points over there where buttons which you need to spin dead Crashes at the end where he ready to drop down. Whenever I hit one, Crash looked mortified. There was about 10 of these areas, and I got to the last one. With a huge button in the middle, I look left and I look right. I even scooted out everything behind me. No Crashes. I turned up the front of the last pit area, thinking of what to do. Suddenly Crash turned around. "Why, Matthew? Why do you have to keep reminding me of my curse?" Crash staggered. "What curse?" I spoke in shock, back in shock. I couldn't believe what I was hearing anymore. "I can't die. I never can. But every day, players kill me over and over, and I have to suffer every time. And it is finally time for me to stop my suffering. They select continue. All my life is endless suffering. Do you know how it feels? Every day, getting murdered by countless people, just trying to be ashamed. Are you ashamed? No? Huh? Know that a being is eternally suffering for your entertainment? No, Crash." I was almost in tears. Knowing my favorite character had to suffer like this his whole life. "Matthew, do you care about me?" Crash asked. "Of course I do," Crash I stated. "I'm about to do something now, and I need you to do something for me." "Yes?" I questioned him. Wonder what his next action was. "Don't press continue." I no longer could control Crash. His next action was him driving to the pit in front of him. But this time, it was different. No screams, crunches, or agony. Just a sigh of relief. I was straight to the Game Over menu. After that, I pressed Game Over. My PC then shut off, and I picked up the disc out of the slot. I looked at the back. Some light shined on the back, and I saw scratches into the back. There are letters. "Thank you." So, that was Crash Bandicoot 5, a Cash Banuka creepypasta story. Final thoughts on it. It's rather great to me. It's just your typical, kids just realize there's like a game that wasn't even exist yet. Because, and it doesn't know that a Crash 4 is actually a real thing right there. Like, right there. And also it was kind of a pretty good creepypasta, but damn, the ending with Crash is just telling the player, "Stop! I want to stop making me suffering all this BS throughout my curse," and that kind of pretty dark, Cash Banuka has enough suffering for all this BS, especially all the times I just lose my insanity on Crash 4, Don't think I'm gonna get in all the insanity perfect relics. Just only get the costumes if I try. Well, that was a rather good creepypasta, despite it has some flaws, which is usual for some creepypastas I've read. But anywho, hope you have a pretty great day, and see you tomorrow for another video. So, bye bye, my Banukas.